Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. So basically, I thought I'd currently do a preview on the current Chelsea Tottenham game that's coming up on Wednesday, 8 o'clock kickoff. Obviously, the same night. Obviously, that my team Manchester United, play Crystal Palace, and there's a host of other games as well as I currently said. But of course, obviously, it's Chelsea Tottenham at Stamford Bridge as I currently said. Chelsea did lose the game earlier on this season to Tottenham by 3 goals to 1. But Chelsea did beat them in the semi-final, the Carabao Cup. Chelsea did lose this fixture last season at home by 3 goals to 1 against Tottenham, of course. So both teams, will be, looking, to get back to winning ways, because obviously Tottenham, just coming back from a defeat to Burnley by 2 goals to 1. Tottenham, good news for Tottenham is that Kane has just recently, come back from injury as well. Tottenham have still got a few other injuries I want to update you on. Dele Alli's still out. I think it's not long now till he's set to come back, and because Tottenham know how much of a miss Dele Alli's been. Kane's been a miss for them as well, but he's just recently, come back from injury as Harry Kane. But Tottenham did lose by 2 goals to 1 at Burnley at the weekend. So from a Tottenham point of view, obviously, they want to get back to winning ways. I think they're out of the title race now. Tottenham, to be quite honest, with that defeat to Burnley. But I definitely think, they're going to definitely, finish in the top four, and they're obviously going to get Champions League qualification for next season. But Tottenham still have a few injury problems. I think, Dele Alli's still out, of course. It did mention that Eric Dyer has got an injury as well. I think it mentioned that Vincent Janssen has got an injury as well. From Chelsea's perspective, they're just coming back off a defeat in the Carabao Cup final to Manchester City, of course. So they'll obviously, want to get back to winning ways. But I did watch the highlights, that Carabao Cup game, between Chelsea and Man City. Of course, Chelsea were desperate, to win that. Obviously, Maurizio Sarri has yet to win a major trophy as manager, Maurizio Sarri. And of course, we know that he's been under, series pressure, of course, due to Chelsea's, bad run of results. But to be quite fair, Chelsea played very, very well in the game yesterday, against Manchester City. They closed Man City down well, they passed the ball very, very well. I thought Kante played very, very well for Chelsea, in that game yesterday. Chelsea were basically hard done by, to be quite honest with you. That's the way football works. Sometimes, you did see that incident, as I did give you an update on, with Kepa, the Chelsea goalkeeper. I think initially Kepa is actually injured, and to be quite honest with you, but Sarri basically come out and he basically wanted to substitute Kepa over like some kind of injury. So there was a long debate on that. Kepa basically wanted to stay on, obviously, because he was refusing to be substituted was Kepa. So the incident turned out of basically then Maurizio Sarri losing his temper and throwing I think he threw a bottle in the Wembley dugout, and then he actually stormed off down the tunnel. But in that game, Chelsea will feel hard done by, as I quickly said, because everyone obviously going into that Man City Chelsea game, the Carabao Cup final, expect Manchester City to walk straight through it. And you'd have expected basically Manchester City to basically thrash Chelsea in that final, because Man City actually annihilated Chelsea the other week, by 6 goals to 0. As I quickly said, in Chelsea, I've got a few injury problems of their own. Danny Drinkwater, hasn't featured for them this season, I don't think, but he's still injured. Gary Cahill's been constantly left out of the squad. I think he's injured. Now Zabba Costa's, I think, got an injury as well for Chelsea. Kepa is initially injured as well. Obviously, the goalkeeper they got last summer, I think they paid £70 million for him. Danny Drinkwater, as I said, of course, injured. Chelsea's only long-term absence is Marco Van Ginkel. He's out for the season. I think Pedro Rodriguez has also got a problem as well. So Chelsea... of course, I've got a few injuries, but obviously Chelsea will be looking to get back to winning ways, against Tottenham, as I currently said, because obviously Chelsea, of course, are going for top four this season, of course. Obviously the only chance they've got now of Chelsea, of winning any silverware is obviously the Europa League. So obviously is as it was coming out quite a few weeks ago saying that basically Sarri will likely be sacked from Chelsea if they don't get the top four, and obviously don't get Champions League for next season. So what they're aiming to do, Chelsea, is either get the top four and get Champions League for next season, or obviously win the Europa League so they can get automatic Champions League qualification for next season. Chelsea currently sitting 6th in the table at the moment. Obviously Tottenham are sitting 3rd, to be quite honest here. Tottenham not totally out of the title race, but as I did say, they had a bad defeat to Burnley. Reports do mention in relation to Pochettino as well. Reportedly, it did mention that reportedly he has been charged by the Football Association in a row with Mike Dean at the weekend, during Tottenham's 2-1 defeat to Burnley as well. But yeah, that's what I've just heard in the recent reports as well. But Pochettino, as I said, he's still a very very good manager. He doesn't really have that winning philosophy. Pochettino, because obviously he hasn't really got a good pedigree. In terms of winning silverware and all that. Pochettino, because he hasn't won out in terms of silverware, as we all know. But he's grown, developed, this Tottenham team fantastically well, and I do think he's done a very very good job. Because this is what his fifth season now with Tottenham. Is Mauricio Pochettino's. The transfer policy's been poor. Since especially since Pochettino got recommended in, Tottenham have only spent what £50 million. So I did say Tottenham have come close on a couple of occasions to winning the league, and me as a Manchester United fan, I'd rather Tottenham win the league, but I just don't think it's going to happen. To quite honest, I still think maybe there's still key areas in Tottenham's squad, that do need investing. So I do think maybe they do need a couple of players, if they are to potentially win the league, one season, start winning trophies. I think they do need a couple of players in there, to be quite honest. But they haven't done bad, to say the current injuries has had. Kane's been out, Dele Alli is still out, of course, but Kane has just recently, recovered from injury, as I currently said, and they have got good players. Something, they've got that song. I think Alderweireld, he's 29 years of age now, Alderweireld, and I think he can be a world-class central defender, can Alderweireld, but as I did say, my club, Man United, have been linked with him in the past, as I said, but he has lost that yard of pace now. He's aging up, of course. He's well Premier League proven, and sometimes he does very, very well in that defensive area, for Tottenham, so he can be a world-class central defender. But as I did currently say, he's aging up now, and he has lost that yard of pace, as Toby Alderweireld. They've got Davinson Sanchez, so Tottenham have got a pretty decent team, to be quite honest. I like Dele Alli as well. They've got Christian Eriksen, who I highly rate as well. So basically, yeah. So reportedly, Pochettino did get reportedly charged by the FA with his row that I had with Mike Dean. I watched bits of the game and I did see Pochettino, I think, was actually, carrying on the touchlines, for quite honest with you. But Pochettino did sign a 5-year deal with Tottenham last summer, as we all know. This is his fifth season now with Tottenham, as I said, but he's yet to win out in terms of silverware, Mauricio Pochettino. I think Pochettino, from his own perspective, is intending on having a long tenure, as Tottenham manager. I think he wants to stay there at least another 10, 15 years. He was speaking about, a while back as well. But as I did currently say, Pochettino, when he's got a good record at Tottenham, he's won over 100 games for Tottenham. When he was at Southampton, he did okay with Southampton, but he only had a short tenure with Southampton, as I currently said. But yeah, so basically it's Chelsea Tottenham game. It could go either way, to be quite honest with you, because Chelsea haven't been playing great of late, to be quite honest with you. Tottenham slipped up against Burnley, so the informed teams, obviously Tottenham are obviously playing, better than Chelsea, as I currently said. But it's going to be really, really hard to call, because, Tottenham did beat Chelsea, earlier on in the season, by 3-1. Of course, Chelsea have lost to a lot of big teams this season, especially away from home. They lost at Arsenal this season, they've lost got hammered at Manchester City 6-0, they got a high absolutely, thrashed them at Bournemouth, 4-0 as well. Obviously we beat them in the FA Cup 2-0 as well, Chelsea. So yeah, they have been pretty poor, against the big teams this season, to be quite honest with you. But as I did say, the pressure has been mounting up on Maurizio Sarri, as Chelsea, some Chelsea fans said they want to get rid of him. Some Chelsea fans, said give him time. Of course, it's only Maurizio Sarri's fifth season as Chelsea manager, so mainly you've probably got to give him time. Yeah, he hasn't got that winning philosophy or pedigree in terms of winning any silverware, because he hasn't won any silverware as manager yet, as Maurizio Sarri. And a while back, he was discussing about mentality and motivation, was Maurizio Sarri, and this is what he was discussing a while back. But, Chelsea had a great start to the season early on in the season. They did go 18 games unbeaten, did Chelsea, don't forget. Savio only joined them last summer, so he basically signed a 3-year deal with Chelsea. So Sarri, his actual system, worked when he was at Napoli and all that, did Maurizio Sarri. But I said he has a different kind of philosophy, does Maurizio Sarri, as I currently said. So yeah, and Chelsea have had obviously, other problems as well, because they could still see players, leaving in the summer as well. But, they've had other problems as well of Chelsea, of course, in relation, to that transfer ban. They have been given by FIFA. That got reported last week in the media as well. He did reportedly say that Chelsea had been given a transfer ban. So it means they're being given a transfer ban for 2 windows, Chelsea. So obviously it means, they can't make any signings they can't do any transfer activity in the summer. They can't do any transfer activity next January. So they'll have to wait until the summer of 2020. And as it did currently say, Chelsea will have to wait until the summer 2020. Chelsea have appealed against the decision, that currently FIFA have made. Chelsea have also been fined in total £460,000 for it, and the Football Association themselves have been found £390,000. As I said, and this was obviously, in relation, to Chelsea, breaching around transfers of minors, and this is the reason, Chelsea had currently got this transfer ban. So Chelsea will be disappointed about that as well. Some good news, could have come out of it, from Chelsea's perspective now, because obviously with this transfer ban that's secured, it's likely that probably, Eden Hazard, will stay at Stamford Bridge, to be quite honest, because we know that he's been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid, as Eden Hazard, as we all know, and obviously Chelsea did say they'd want around £100 million for him anywhere. But obviously now they're not going to be able to find that replacement for Eden Hazard in the summer. If he does, obviously now they can't find a replacement for him. Obviously Chelsea will stand firm and they'll be ruthless and they'll probably keep him, Eden Hazard, as I said. But we know that Real Madrid have been heavily linked with Eden Hazard, as I said. As it did currently say a while back, before this transfer ban occurred, that reportedly, Eden Hazard, it got revealed that he'd made a decision on his future, and I think he intended, to tell Chelsea that he did want to go to Real Madrid in the summer, and obviously last summer as well after the World Cup. After the World Cup last summer, Eden Hazard basically come out and I think he said that he did want to leave Chelsea, Eden Hazard. But Chelsea know how much of a central player he is. This is 7th season now with Chelsea. He's grown, developed and flourished, fantastically well as a Chelsea player. Of course, he mainly, he's now back in his favourite position, on the left-hand side, is Eden Hazard. Actually, yesterday he was playing centrally, against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final, as I said. But of course, he's still got to deal with Chelsea till 2020. In the process, Chelsea have tried to convince him to sign a new contract. I think Chelsea did say they were willing to give him around £300,000 a week, to keep him at Stamford Bridge, Eden Hazard. But we do know he has been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid as Hazard as well. But it would cost Real Madrid in the process of around £100 million, as I said. And this is his 7th season at Chelsea. He's made over 300 appearances, scored over 100 odd goals. He's obviously won everything as well in English football. And I still think he's the third best player in the Premier League, behind Salah and Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, as I said. But it's obviously likely now Eden Hazard will stay because obviously Chelsea have got this transfer ban, as I said. Chelsea will be disappointed obviously now because they can't find a replacement for Cesc Fabregas, which they wanted to do in the January transfer window, but they couldn't get a replacement for Fabregas in the January transfer window. And obviously they were intending to get a replacement for Fabregas in the summer, but obviously now they can't because they've got this transfer ban, as I said. For me, David Luiz's contract is up in the summer, so if he doesn't sign new contracts, he could leave. Willian even could leave as well. Gary Cahill's been constantly left out of the squad. For me, Chelsea, definitely, need another fullback in there as well. So Chelsea, have got a lot of problems, and as I did say, the pressure has definitely, been on Maurizio Sarri, as I said. And reports coming out, it was like 3 or 4 days ago, as I did report on you saying that if Chelsea do decide to sack Maurizio Sarri, they've identified 2 top manager targets. It did say Zinedine Zidane was their major priority target. It also mentioned that they were interested in hiring Frank Lampard in as well. But it did currently say Chelsea could consider appointing Gianfranco Zola as their caretaker manager until the end of the season, because obviously Gianfranco Zola is the assistant manager at the moment at Chelsea. But yeah, there were talks about Zinedine Zidane and Frank Lampard the other day. In relation to Zinedine Zidane, I think it did say he'd only join Chelsea if he was to get around £200 million to spend. And if Eden Hazard was to say that were reported in the Sun. So basically, it did say that's the only That's the only way that Zinedine Zidane, would go and manage Chelsea, because obviously, Zinedine Zidane hasn't been in management, since the end of last season. Of course, Zinedine Zidane, he hasn't been in management since the end of last season, as I said, because he stepped down as Real Madrid manager at the end of last season. But he's got a good pedigree, as I said, in terms of winning loads of silverware. Of course, he's never managed in the Premier League. He's never played as a player in the Premier League, so he's never had any experience of being in the Premier League. But Zinedine Zidane, he's won trophies as a manager with Real Madrid. He was very, very good for France as well. Also, won trophies as a player with Real Madrid and Juventus, and he's also won a lot of individual awards as well. So he has got a very, very good winning pedigree as Zinedine Zidane. So it did reportedly say that Chelsea were interested in hiring him if Maurizio Sarri was sacked. Also, Frank Lampard also got mentioned in the media as well not too long ago. He hasn't really got that managerial experience yet, Frank Frank Lampard, to be quite honest with you, because he's only just started management at the start of the season, because obviously, now he's managing Derby County, Frank Lampard, but obviously Frank Lampard knows the culture of the club, he knows the strappings of the club, he knows the club inside out, because he served 30, he was a long serving at Stamford Bridge as a player, he served 13, 14 years, with Chelsea, so, he had a really, really long tenure in his playing career with Chelsea, as I said. Obviously, he had that winning philosophy in terms of winning silverware as a player, I think he won the majority of it, of his silverware at Stamford Bridge. Frank Lampard, obviously their all-time leading goal scorer with 211 goals in all competitions. He scored 147 of them goals in the Premier League, for Chelsea as well. Frank Lampard. I think in the Premier League he got around 102 assists, but for Chelsea he did make over 500 odd appearances in all competitions during his 13, 14 years at Stamford Bridge, as I said. And then after Chelsea, he had a spell with City, and then he went to New York City. He actually began his career, with West Ham before he actually went to Chelsea. I did Frank Lampard, but now obviously, he's manager of Derby, as I said. But Chelsea probably may stick, Maurizio Sarri, until the end of the season. As I currently said, I don't know. There hasn't been no more reports on it that, Chelsea, that if they are willing to sack him or not. There has been no more reports that, since like 5 days ago as well. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Chelsea player again, as I did say, he was linked with a move away from Chelsea back in the January transfer window. Well, to be fair, he has been playing regularly, quite recently, Callum Hudson-Odoi. He does seem to be getting involved in the cup competitions, does Callum Hudson-Odoi, or the cup competitions more than the Premier League, because I don't think he's actually started a game in the Premier League, this season from the start. I think he's come on a few times as a substitute as Callum Hudson-Odoi, but he does seem to get a lot of game time, in the cup competitions, but in the league, he doesn't really, get a lot of starts. Obviously, Bayern Munich, of course, were heavily linked, with Callum Hudson-Odoi, back in the January transfer window, because Bayern Munich, have got quite a few aging up players who are experienced, and obviously they were looking to get some young players that could grow and develop and mould. As I currently said. But in the process, Bayern Munich were winning negotiations. In the process, I think Bayern Munich had about 3 bids turned down. I think Bayern Munich did put about 4 bids in, was it, or something like that. Bayern Munich were even willing to offer Callum Hudson-Odoi, the number 10 shirt, because he's a player that wants to be playing first team football week in, week out, because he's only 18 years of age. Chelsea were in negotiations trying to get him a new contract. He turned this down, but Chelsea weren't willing to let Callum Hudson-Odoi leave back in the January transfer window, and this is why Bayern Munich failed in their pursuit of getting Callum Hudson-Odoi. So basically Bayern Munich, may revive the interest in the summer. Chelsea can still sanction players off, don't forget, even though, they have got a transfer ban, as I said. But Chelsea, Tottenham, as I currently said, both teams want to get back to winning ways. Tottenham want to bounce back, from that defeat, they currently had to Burnley. Good news for Tottenham, that Harry Kane's back now as well. Did he win the Golden Boot twice in a row a couple of years ago as well? Harry Kane, still for me, one of the best strikers in the Premier League is Harry Kane, as I said. Dele Alli's a very, very good player, but, he's still missing, for Tottenham as well. It's looking likely Tottenham are definitely, going into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, because they've put an impressive performance out, against Borussia Dortmund, beating them in the first leg 3-0. And, of course, they did get to the last 16 of the Champions League last season as well. So you've got to praise Mauricio Pochettino, because he's good at growing and developing young players, and he has done a terrific job at Tottenham. He just hasn't proven himself in terms of silverware, as I said. But Chelsea, I think, have got Zabba Costa out as in anywhere through injury. It mentioned Marco Vingels, the only long-term absence, I think, or something like that. Danny Drinkwater, of course, I don't think he's featured with Chelsea all season. Of course, Zabba Costa did say was out as well. I think, Rodrigo Pedro's got a problem, some kind of stomach problem. I think I mentioned on that as well. But yeah, Chelsea, I've got a few minor injuries. I don't think they're severe injuries, but the only long-term absence, of course, is Marco Van Ginkel. But Chelsea are sitting 6th. Tottenham are sitting 3rd. But definitely Tottenham are going to be guaranteed Champions League football for next season, because they won't finish out of the top 4 this season. Tottenham are the only team that haven't drawn a game this season. Tottenham have not drawn one game this season so far as well. But obviously, this is a game, obviously, Maurizio Sarri will want to win. Obviously, he wants to get back to winning ways, because obviously, he does want to, keep the Chelsea job as he does currently know, because a lot of Chelsea fans have been on his back and all that, Maurizio Sarri, as I currently said. But no more reports have been reported on, if him potentially getting sacked. There was reports coming out the other day, as I did say, that Chelsea have identified a couple of managers, to replace Sarri, if Chelsea and the Chelsea board, do decide to sack him, indeed. For me, I'd probably go with with probably maybe a Chelsea win or probably a draw, to be quite honest with you, because Chelsea aren't too bad at Stamford Bridge, let's be honest. So I'll probably go with probably a 2-1 Chelsea win or something like that. So I do favour, Chelsea to currently win that game. But they have got a great chance, of winning the Europa League of Chelsea. Obviously Arsenal have got a great chance of winning the Europa League as well, because obviously both teams, are obviously, in the next round for the Europa League. I can't remember, did Chelsea get Dynamo Kiev, if I'm right, I can't fully remember on that as well. But obviously, my team, Manchester United, as I currently said, we go into action against Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. Also, as I currently said, we've got a string of injuries. We've got injury concerns, as I currently said. We've got a string of injuries, and I think Solskjaer is willing to recommend quite a few youngsters, to make the trip to Crystal Palace. And there has been quite a few names mentioned. I've just read a report, and it did say Chong could potentially, be involved. So too could James Garner. He's another player that could be potentially involved. There's Angel Gomez that's been mentioned as well. I think who else got mentioned? Angel Gomez. That Chong, as I said, has been mentioned. I think Mason Greenwood, who's also been mentioned as well. Who's been very, very impressive. For the Manchester United reserves. But I think he's still initially injured. Is Mason Greenwood. But obviously we're recommending quite a few youngsters to come in. Obviously, because obviously now we've got a lot of injuries. As I currently said. But I am still confident. That Manchester United, can beat Crystal Palace. I'm still confident that we can beat Crystal Palace on Wednesday night, considering, that we have got a lot of injuries. And it does kill the momentum of your team, and it does knock the bags of pace out of your team, when you have got a lot of injuries, when you've got quite a lot of injuries, to, some of you, to your essential players, as I said. But yeah, Crystal Palace, I think it should be easy. Crystal Palace 13th, in the table. Of course, the 13th in the table. They've got a manager, Roy Hodgson. I think he's managed about 20 teams as Roy Hodgson or something like that. But the last meeting to United, Crystal Palace, we won the game by 3-2 last season at Selhurst Park. I think Matic had currently scored later on. We did beat them at home 4-0 last season as well. And I think the game earlier on in the season was actually, a 0-0. I think Crystal Palace have got a few injury, problems of their own as well. But yeah, Solskjaer's going to be definitely, making rotations in this match against Crystal Palace. Considering with the amount of injuries we've currently got. So we've had a bit of news, going on as I currently said. Solskjaer's obviously confirmed in relation to Marcus Rashford. Solskjaer did basically say that it is unlikely that Marcus Rashford will face Crystal Palace. So he's saying it's unlikely he will be playing against Crystal Palace. Rashford has obviously got an ankle injury. We don't know initially how long he's going to be out for, but he has currently got an ankle injury. Is Marcus Rashford, but he still did play the 90 minutes against Liverpool, as I said. So he's out with an ankle injury, and as I said, hopefully somewhere along the line that we can agree Marcus Rashford a new 6-year deal, as I currently said, and he deserves it, based on his fantastic performances. Marcus Rashford, he's been United player since the age of 7. He's progressing up the ranks fantastically well. He's been in the senior squad with us, since 2016, as I said, but he enjoyed a difficult time under Mourinho. But I said, especially since Solskjaer's come in, I think Rashford's performances have improved. He's obviously been more of a regular in the team. He's playing a key role, and he's scoring more goals. His finishing's improving as well as Marcus Rashford. He's only 21 years of age, so if he can get this new 6-year deal, this will take him to the age of 27, and it'll take him under contract with Manchester United until 2025 as well, because his current deal does end in 2020, Marcus Rashford, with an option of a further year as well. But we know how good he's been on Solskjaer. He's showing that ability to attack, play balls, provide, score goals, getting them runs in behind, fantastically well as well. But you could tell he wasn't his potential self yesterday, Marcus Rashford. And we know, obviously, he's been first choice over Lukaku. But as I did currently say, now with Rashford currently injured with an ankle injury, it was very, very doubtful for the game against Crystal Palace. This probably now may allow Romelu Lukaku, to probably, get more opportunities in the team, from the start. I know he has played the last couple of games, but now with Rashford out, this could allow, Lukaku, to get some opportunities, on the board, as I said. Because initially, Romelu Lukaku, as I said, I know he's very, very slow, and what Rashford can offer up front, Lukaku cannot currently do this. But in relation to Romelu Lukaku, I think he's very, very slow. His first touch really, really concerns me. As I said, Romelu Lukaku's, and he doesn't have any pace about his game. He's still got a good pedigree in the Premier League. He has scored loads and loads of goals in the Premier League. As Romelu Lukaku, as I currently said, and he scored 27 goals in his first season at Manchester United in all competitions as well. And to be fair, since Solskjaer's come in, when Lukaku has had the chance chance. I think his form has, been rejuvenated, Romelu Lukaku. In the last couple of games, he has been playing Lukaku, alongside Rashford, as I said. But now, obviously, with Rashford injured, Lukaku could get a lot more opportunities, obviously, until Rashford recovers from this ankle injury. But we don't know how long, Marcus Rashford is going to be out for anywhere. So basically, we know Rashford has got an ankle injury, which is a shame to see. We know that Anthony Martial, of course, is still out with a groin injury as well. Initially, he did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in relation to Jesse Lingard and Anthony Martial, he did say initially before Liverpool that they could be out, for both for like 2 to 3 weeks, could Martial and Jesse Lingard. But Martial's very, very doubtful for the game against Crystal Palace as well, because he's got a groin injury. And obviously, we know that mainly Martial has been first choice on the left-hand side when he has been fully fit above Alexis Sanchez. Of course, again, Alexis Sanchez being a very, very poor Manchester United player. And of course, as Solskjaer did confirm, he's lost trustworthy in him. He's lost faith now in Alexis Sanchez. Initially, before the Liverpool game, he said he made it clear he wanted to avoid playing Alexis Sanchez. This is why he was hoping that Martial had come back from injury and Lingard had recovered from injury as well. So he could basically avoid playing Alexis Sanchez, because he's lost trustworthy in him. He's lost faith in Alexis Sanchez. And he's been here just over the year, of course, as Alexis Sanchez. But he has really, really failed to impress. He's been here just over a year. He's lacked goals. He hasn't really established himself. He hasn't fitted into the Manchester United team. And, obviously, he has had a couple of injuries of his own as well. And we know he mainly hasn't been given the opportunity, Alexis Sanchez, because we know mainly Martial's been first choice over him on that left-hand side. But I said he's aging up. He's 30. He's lost that yard of pace, as I said, and he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal, Alexis Sanchez. So I can see Manchester United getting rid of him in the summer. Maybe Lukaku, may go in the summer as well. So I do, as I did say, I definitely, expect players to leave Old Trafford in the summer, as I said. But in relation, to Jesse Lingard, as I said, his progression's been very, very good as a Manchester United player. Jesse Lingard, he's obviously, grown, developed and flourished, and, he's progressed up the Manchester United, youth system, fantastically well. Jesse Lingard, I've been very, very proud of his performances. I think he's always been a good player for United, but I think, especially since Solskjaer's coming again, his form's been rejuvenated. He mainly does play on that right. He can, play in that attacking midfield position as well, can Jesse Lingard, as I said. But I've been very, very impressed with his performances as well. But it's a shame he's out. He's got a hamstring injury as Jesse Lingard, as we all currently know as well. As we all currently know as well. But in the Liverpool game, to be quite honest with you, as I did currently say, I was proud of the team, to be quite honest with you. I know it ended 0-0. It wasn't a great entertaining game, as everyone basically, expected. But, when you see, 3 injured players, coming off, in the first half, obviously it's going to kill the momentum of the game. The bags of pace is obviously, going to be knocked out of the team as well. Because initially Solskjaer only made 2 changes, from the Chelsea victory, in the FA Cup, as I said. Obviously, as well, obviously we've got Nemanja Matic injured as well. That's a big, big blow to us as well, Nemanja Matic, being out. Obviously, we hope somewhere along the line he can recover for PSG, which I don't see happening, to be quite honest, because it initially did say that Nemanja Matic is going to be out for at least a couple of weeks. He could be even out for up to a month. He's got a muscle injury as Nemanja Matic, and he is aging up. We know he's, 29, 30 years of age now. He's very tall as well. He's very, very static. That means, obviously, very, very slow. Got strong reservations about him, but again, I think he's fitted into that midfield very, very well, alongside Herrera and Pogba, which has been mainly Solskjaer's midfield trio. That's his, obviously, being his first option. But I think Matic's form has been rejuvenated, since Solskjaer's come. I think his distribution's improved. He's looking more effective in his passing, is Nemanja Matic. So I do think he has improved, Nemanja Matic, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming. And obviously, Matic is obviously our out and out, defensive midfielder. Obviously, has been playing regularly as well. But it is a muscle injury, as it has currently confirmed. So he's set to be out for up to a month. Reports were saying he's set to have a scanner sometime this week, or something like that, in relation to Matic. Obviously, other bad news as well in relation to Pogba. Obviously, he's suspended, for the PSG game as well. So obviously, there's going to have to be other alterations as well in that scenario. But in the Liverpool game, yeah, as I did currently say, so, we saw three players, come off injured, and even Solskjaer explained himself. He basically said, it all went wrong in the first half, obviously reflecting on the injuries, that we currently suffered in the first half. So Herrera came off with an injury again. He's been a great, great player for Manchester United, and he's going to be a big, big miss as well, is Ander Herrera, as I did currently say, because he's been very, very consistent since Solskjaer's coming. I think he's always been a very, very good player, Ander Herrera. Don't get me wrong, he's always been a very, very good player. But I think since Solskjaer's come, his performances have improved. He's fitting in the team. Or he's a good ball playing midfielder, good at breaking up the play, got good physical attributes, and I think he's playing a big part. He's been playing a good part in the team as Ander Herrera, and hopefully somewhere along the line, we can agree him a new deal. I think we're set to agree him a new 3-year deal worth around £100,000 a week, or something like that. But yeah, he's currently got a hamstring injury as Ander Herrera, so he had to be replaced, by Andres Pereira. Obviously, Andres Pereira hasn't really been first choice this season. He's hardly played this season, Andres Pereira. There's been talks that Man United have been trying to get him a new contract, but obviously he has strong reservations, about his game time, does Andres Pereira. But obviously now he'll probably maybe get some opportunities, considering that Matic is now injured and all that, and Herrera's now injured. He may get more involved, now Andres Pereira. Of course, as well, we saw basically, Juan Mata coming off as well through injury. I think he's his hamstring injury as well. Jesse Lingard came on the pitch. Initially Jesse Lingard wasn't fully fit anywhere, as we all know. Mata came off a hamstring injury. Jesse Lingard came on the pitch for 15-20 minutes, then had to be taken back off, and then obviously, Sanchez came on for Jesse Lingard. Initially didn't want to play Sanchez, but obviously I don't think there was any other alterations or any other options, so basically he had to get Sanchez involved as well. But Jurgen Klopp did admit it was a missed opportunity for Liverpool, and I think Jurgen Klopp was very, very disappointed, to be quite honest, that Liverpool didn't take advantage. Obviously Firmino went off in the game as well, but Liverpool be disappointed. And Liverpool, I didn't think it was a great game, to be quite honest with you. There wasn't a lot of attacking sense or attacking intent, in the game, to be quite honest with you. I didn't really, see any real clear-cut chances in the game, and I think it lacked real clear-cut chances, to be quite honest, because Liverpool did look composed on the ball. They had a lot of the possession. I think we defended fantastically well. I think defensively, we did really, really well defensively, as I said, but they looked composed on the ball. But I think Liverpool lacks that composure, in the final third of the pitch. Couldn't really sustain any kind of pressure. As I said, I thought defensively, we played very, very well indeed. I thought Liverpool only looked to threat, from set pieces, as I said, but they didn't, create any clear-cut chances, did Liverpool. I thought they dominated the first half in terms of possession and all that, and they passed the ball pretty well, but as I did currently say, Liverpool didn't really create any real clear-cut chances. From my point of view as a Man United fan, I thought we was poor in the first half, but I thought second half, we come back into the game, we started getting bodies forward, if we put a few, with some of us crossing, crossing we put into the box, looked dangerous at times as well. I thought Liverpool's crossing, was very, very poor as well, indeed. So it ended up 0-0. I thought Lingard had the best chance for us. He could have scored that. I think if he'd have been fully fit, he would have had a better chance of scoring. Smalling had that chance at the end as well. But yeah, it did end 0-0. So could we have ruined, Liverpool's title credentials? Liverpool did get a point. They still go back to the top of the league. But, Jurgen Klopp basically, will be disappointed with that, as I said. Klopp will be very, very disappointed with that. But Solskjaer's basically, took a lot of positives, reflecting on that game and to what he's thinking is, considering the injuries we suffered, and we still managed to earn a point, in difficult circumstances. Solskjaer will be very, very happy with that, indeed, as I said. But yeah, we do expect rotations for this Crystal Palace game on Wednesday night, and I do think obviously now with Matic and Herrera out and all that, you do expect probably maybe Fred and that to come in, maybe Scott McTominay and Andres Pereira and that to come in that midfield, alongside Pogba and all that. So you could be seeing on Wednesday night probably Fred and Scott McTominay along Pogba, or you could see Scott McTominay, Pereira and Fred, in a three-man midfield. But yeah, obviously he's going to be making rotations. Maybe defensively, he may go with the same back line, or he may, he may make a change in the back line. But I think he'll go, if he doesn't, go with the same back line, he'll play a similar back line. Of course, will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in that front position. It'll be interesting to see who he goes with in that attacking position. Probably Lukaku will probably start on Wednesday. I don't know if Sanchez will start. I'm not too sure about him, because obviously Solskjaer has lost faith in Sanchez. Of course, as well, but there's names that have been mentioned. Angel Gomez got mentioned. Chong got mentioned. Obviously made his senior debut against Reading in the FA Cup. up. This James Garner has also been mentioned as well. I've actually, never heard of James Garner, but he got mentioned. Mason Greenwood's been mentioned, but I think he's currently still injured. Is Mason Greenwood, as he currently said, so he won't be probably, going as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens on Wednesday night. Obviously, of course, more things will update in the press in relation to like the likes of Herrera and Mata. We don't know how long they're going to be out for. There's been no information of how long they're going to be out for. We're not too sure, but we do know how long Matic is going to be out for, but we don't know how long Herrera, Mata, and even Rashford. We don't know how long they're currently going to be out for. Lingard, I don't know how long he's going to be out for either. But Martial, I think initially was going to be out for like 2 to 3 weeks. Anyway, Martial won't be playing on Wednesday night, that's for sure, because he's got a groin injury, as we all currently know in the process. But anyway, obviously we look. Obviously, there's still, key areas in the squad. There's still key areas in the team, where we are lacking. And as obviously, as I've identified to you, there's key areas where we do need to strengthen up. And obviously, Ed Woodward is obviously, aware that investment is needed into Manchester United, because of course we do expect departures in the summer. Reports did say a while back, reportedly we're going to get around over £200 million to spend in the summer. Reportedly around 200 million or just over 200 million. Obviously, we're still looking to hire a director of footballer to come in to the club as well. But I've obviously identified key areas where we do need to strengthen up, and it would be ideal to get some young players that can grow, develop and mould under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Because I think based on the the 0-0 draw, I still think Solskjaer that's still enough to give Solskjaer the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, because I do think he deserves it based on his fantastic progression so far at Manchester United. Obviously his target this season is obviously to get in that top 4, to get Champions League for next season, and obviously try and succeed in the FA Cup as well. So basically under Solskjaer, we've won 11 out of 14 in all competitions. We've scored 30 goals in the process. We've still won 7 away from home. I think, especially away from home defensively, you can see the vast improvements as well. We've won 8 in the league. It's good that Solskjaer now has made history in the Premier League as well. Which is very, very good news. But for me, he knows everything about the club. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because obviously he flourished as a great player for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. Did Solskjaer, as I said. He's obviously managed the Manchester United reserve team. He watched some of this team. At this day and age, grow and develop as well. One of them, obviously, was including Pogba, and he's yet to win. He's yet to win. He's not won much as a manager so far, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his managerial career. But I do think that will come in time to come. When we do if we get some new additions into the club in the summer, I think we can get. I think we can get back to being an elite level of football club, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think if we can get some new signs in the summer, I do think, we can definitely, be potentially title contenders, without a shadow of a doubt. But I think Solskjaer's the favourite to get the job on a full-time basis. We've already paid an initial 1.8 million to Moll to get him temporary, but it'll only cost us like £7-8 million, to get Solskjaer in on a full-time basis, and that's, very, very cheap. So he's Solskjaer, is a very, very cheap alternative. He has got that winning mentality. I think he has got the that attacking philosophy at this club, and I think he has got the right philosophy, as I currently said, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And obviously when he was at Mold, he had 2 spells with Mold. He won 2 Norwegian titles with Mold, but he had 2 like separate spells there, didn't he? So obviously he's still under contract initially, with Mold until 2021. But I think it's really, really likely, to be quite honest with you guys, that he will get the job on a full-time basis. Based on the fantastic progression so far. We've beaten Arsenal away, we've beaten Chelsea away. We've beaten Tottenham away from home as well. Got a draw against Liverpool, and that's a good result considering the amount of injuries we currently suffered in the game as well. And when you suffer injuries, of course, it knocks the momentum out of the team. But for me, definitely, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for me still the right man, because he's still getting the best out of the players. Don't forget, he's rejuvenated this whole team. He's got them playing in the right vein, and he did say when he came in he was going to give everybody a chance, get the team, to express themselves. And this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done. So I want Solskjaer. I don't want somebody else, as I currently said, because that if we were to get a new manager in, that you might not get the best out of the players, and you might not get them playing in the right vein, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's currently done. So for me, Solskjaer is definitely the right option. As I said, he's probably is the favourite, to get the job full time, because it probably won't be officially announced anywhere until the end of the season, of course. But he suits this club. He knows the club inside out, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I didn't expect him, to do this well. When he first got recommended in, I didn't expect him, to do this well. I didn't expect, 11 out of 14 in all competitions, as I said, and I didn't expect us, to beat the likes of Arsenal away, Chelsea away, Tottenham away, and all that, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came. But he has done a terrific job, so you have got to stand up, and, you've got to give him, a lot of credit, for what he's currently done. But we are aware, the Manchester United are aware that we do need signings in the summer, and as I've been talking to you about transfers that have been going on, as I said, a name got mentioned today in the press, as I updated you earlier on. So this is my main title anyway. So I've named it Chelsea versus Tottenham Preview. We'll put Crystal Palace versus Man United Preview alongside it as well when I've currently finished the video. But I have to do it early, to be quite honest with you, because I'm busy tomorrow. I'm out all day. And so I thought I'll just do it now. But yeah, there's been rumours going on today in relation to Bruno Fernandes, reportedly. He's a Sporting Lisbon midfielder. I think I did give you an update on Bruno Fernandes earlier on. He's a Sporting Lisbon player. Reports are coming out. I think this is from a Ebola or something like that. That reportedly Manchester United have reportedly made contact with Bruno Fernandes' representatives reportedly over a potential summer move. It's also said that Liverpool have also been interested in this player as well. But again, very young in his prime, only 24 years of age. This player, he's only 24 years of age. This player, he's Portuguese as well. This Bruno Fernandes. Reports do say that he's got around a 90 million release clause in his current deal with Sporting Lisbon. Reports, I think actually his performances have been very, very impressive for Sporting Lisbon this season. He can play as a central mid. I think he can also play as an attacking mid and a second striker as well. So he is versatile as this player. But he's obviously spent the entirety of his playing career in Italy. Bruno Fernandes. He of course is an ex-Sampdoria player. He's also an ex-Underneath player. Sporting Lisbon did pay an initial £8 million, to get him from Sampdoria, this Bruno Fernandes. But reports do say he's got around a 90 million release clause, this player. But reportedly his performances for Sporting Lisbon have been very, very good this season, indeed. But it's also said Liverpool have also, showed an interest in him as well. So Man United have made some kind of negotiations over, getting Bruno Fernandes. As I said, I've actually never really heard of him, until I saw his name mentioned in the media today as well. But we know other targets, have been mentioned in the media, as we all currently know as well. We know there's been, a lot of talks of Jadon Sancho going on. There's been a narrative going on about that, and in the last couple of weeks, as well. As I said, Sancho, as I said, he's English as well. He's had experience of playing in England in the past as well. And since he's been in Borussia Dortmund first team, his performances have been very, very good. I've already given you the full details of the Jadon Sancho, scenario. Man United must probably, qualify for Champions League for next season, so we do have any chances of getting Jadon Sancho. Obviously, we'd have to pay around, at least probably around £70 million anywhere to get Jadon Sancho in the summer. But again, only 18, very, very young in his prime, and I think he's flourished fantastically well at Borussia Dortmund, since he's broke into the first team. He did spend a couple of years with Man City. He had a 2 or 3 year tenure with City. He never got in the first team with Man City anywhere. He actually began his youth career with Watford, this Jadon Sancho, but we do know that he won't come cheap. But we have identified him as a summer target, Jadon Sancho. We have identified him as a summer target. But as I did come to say, City do have a buyback option on the player. It did say if we were to come to an agreement in the summer, City would receive around 15% of the transfer fee. Reportedly around 15% of the transfer fee, because Man City did insert a 15% sell-on clause in terms of his deal, reportedly. But he has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022 as Jadon Sancho as well. But I think his progression's been very, very good. He's tenacious, got a lot of tenacity about his play as well as this Jadon Sancho. But reportedly, if Man United are willing to pay around 70, 80, 90, 100 million pounds in the summer, we've got a great chance getting him. But we've got to hope of getting a top four this season. Borussia Dortmund only paid an initial £7-8 million for him for Manchester City, of course, as well. So financially, they'd make a lot of money. They'd make a huge profit. But Borussia Dortmund do know how much of an essential player, Jadon Sancho is to them as well. But we've identified him as a summer target. As I said, it did say also that Man United, could will, to sanction, a couple of players off, to get Jadon Sancho, to fund the move, for Jadon Sancho as well. And also too, as well, we do also know that there's been talks of Ivan Rakitic going out in the media today as well. It did say Man United have reportedly monitored like a slight interest in Ivan Rakitic, according to reports in Spain. Well, Ivan Rakitic is actually I think a few teams have expressed their interest in Ivan Rakitic. I think Chelsea have actually kept an interest in Ivan Rakitic as well. They can't get him now anyway because obviously they've got a transfer ban, but obviously before the transfer ban occurred, Chelsea had showed an interest. I think Inter Milan have also been interested in Ivan Rakitic as well. Man United have kept a close eye out on Ivan Rakitic as well. Of course, he's not young. He's obviously highly experienced. Obviously he's 30 years of age. Is Ivan Rakitic? He's Croatian, as we all know. I think he's actually an attacking mid. He can actually play as a central mid as well. Can Ivan Rakitic, but I think he's going to remain loyal to Barcelona as he has confirmed. I think he does want to stay at Barcelona as he's currently said, because he has been a narrative, and speculation of, Ivan Rakitic, leaving Barcelona this summer. Due to that, obviously, Barcelona have got quite a few midfielders in the team. Obviously, they've obviously signed, Frankie de Jong from Ajax for around £65 million. That was agreed last summer, but obviously it was a year in advance, so obviously he's going to be officially a Barcelona player in the new season, this Frankie de Jong. But they come to an agreement on a £65 million fee, with Ajax. So now there's been reports coming out in relation to Rakitic when he does officially, play for Barcelona, Frankie de Jong, that Ivan Rakitic, could find game time hard and he could be a surplus to requirements. So this is why there's been speculation going on about it. But he has got a current deal, with Barcelona until 2021. He has got that winning philosophy, he has got a good winning pedigree in terms of a player. Obviously, he's still a player now, of winning silverware. The majority of his silverware, he has obviously, won at Barcelona because obviously he's won 12 major honours, I think, with Barcelona, something like that. Of course, I think when he was at Sevilla in his 2 or 3 years there, he did win the Europa League with them. I think he had 3.5 years with Schalke as well. And when he was at Basel, I think when he was a lot younger, I think he did win the Swiss Cup. Was it with Basel or something like that as well? I did Ivan Rakitic, but he is 30 now, so he's highly experienced. As I said, I probably wouldn't want Man United to get him, to crack into because he is 30 now. He's Ivan Rakitic, and probably don't need him anywhere. But he did say Man United have monitored a slight interest in Ivan Rakitic as well. But I don't think he'll leave anywhere because I think he's confirmed, that he's really happy, with Barcelona. Is Ivan Rakitic as well. Of course, I've updated you on all the other transfer rumours that have been going on as well. But it is essential, that we do get some new additions into the club in the summer, to get us back, up there so we can, elevate to that higher level, get us back up there competing. And I do believe that Solskjaer, can elevate this team forward, and he can take this team forward because obviously we've found a solution since Solskjaer's come in, and that solution has currently worked out, as we all currently know as well. As I've confirmed, there's still some contract renewals, to sort out as well. As I said, I do expect departures, as I've already confirmed to the players who I do think will leave the club as well. But yeah, worrying, as I currently said, with all these injuries, we've currently got now, it is worrying because obviously we're desperate to get that top four this season, and obviously Arsenal do play on Wednesday night as well, but we do really want that top four this season. It's very important that we do get it because we want Champions League for next season. I can't see turn it around against PSG, considering the injuries we've got, especially now, considering that Pogba's suspended for it as well, and obviously, we've got a 2-goal deficit, to come back from as well. You never know in football, but, we have got injuries. I don't think Matic will make it for PSG. Herrera's out, Mata's out. We don't know how long Herrera and Mata are out for, but we know they're injured, obviously. Lingard out. We don't know how long Rashford's going to be out for because he's obviously got an ankle injury as well as Marcus Rashford. But I'm still confident we can beat Crystal Palace because Crystal Palace are a poor team. They're sitting 13th, in the league table. Crystal Palace, and we did win we haven't lost to Crystal Palace actually. Since the League Cup game back in 2011, and that's the last time Crystal Palace beat beat us. So mainly, we have got a really, really good record against Crystal Palace, as we all quickly know. We have now initially, been on the live stream for 47 minutes, guys. So yeah, but I think he'll definitely, he'll be rotating the squad, definitely against Crystal Palace, where we're all going to Solskjaer without a shadow of a doubt. But he did currently say Rashford's unlikely to face Crystal Palace, so he has given us some news on Marcus Rashford, but he has took positives, from the Liverpool game, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all currently know. Sorry about noise, itching. But he has took positives from that game as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But we do have to win on Wednesday. Obviously, we want to get back to winning ways as soon as possible. But yeah, he's achieved very, very well so far at Manchester United as Solskjaer. And for me, he needs to get the job on a full-time basis, where without a shadow of a doubt. We know the game's not live on Wednesday, as we all currently know. We know the game's not live Wednesday against Crystal Palace. But I can't watch it because it's not even on TV unless I can try and find, a way to stream it. I probably won't be able to, so I'd probably just glimpse at the highlights, I won't be able to give you a full match reaction after just watching highlights, but we'll talk to you about who scored the goals and all that, and, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, so mainly that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do consider subscribe, as always.